In an unexpected twist that has left major military powers stunned, the Philippines, long considered a modest player in global defense, has emerged at the forefront of aerial warfare development. With a surprise investment that soared into the billions, the Southeast Asian nation has unveiled its ambitions to acquire, and possibly co-develop, a sixth-generation fighter jet program. The global defense community, including heavyweights like Russia and China, has been taken aback by this bold move, signaling a shift in the balance of power in the Asia-Pacific region. For decades, the Philippines relied on a modest fleet of aging aircraft and hand-me-down technology from allies like the United States. The Philippine Air Force was largely focused on internal security and maritime patrol rather than competing in high-end aerial warfare. But as regional tensions have escalated and threats in the South China Sea intensified, the need for a more robust and technologically advanced air force became undeniable. What no one expected was the scale and speed of the Philippine response. Sources within the Department of National Defense revealed that the government quietly earmarked over $5 billion in military modernization funds, with an additional $3 billion allocated through public-private partnerships and international defense agreements. These funds were funneled into Project Horizon 3, the most ambitious phase of the Philippines' military modernization program to date. But what truly shocked the world was the confirmation that a significant portion of this budget was directed toward the acquisition of sixth-generation fighter technology. Unlike fifth-generation fighters such as the F-35 or China's J-20, sixth-generation jets represent a quantum leap in warfare capabilities. These aircraft feature advanced stealth, artificial intelligence-assisted decision-making, drone swarm control, hypersonic weapons compatibility, and adaptive engines. The development of such platforms is currently limited to a handful of nations, namely the United States, the United Kingdom, and a few European allies, with even China and Russia still lagging behind in certain aspects. That a developing nation like the Philippines would even enter this arena was previously unthinkable. Behind the scenes, the Philippines has been forging quiet alliances. Reports suggest that top defense contractors from the US and Europe, including Lockheed Martin, BAE Systems, and Saab, were invited to participate in discreet exploratory talks. Some insiders speculate that the Philippines has entered into a joint development agreement that mirrors the Tempest program in the UK or the NGAD initiative in the US. If confirmed, this would mean Filipino engineers and pilots are now involved in early testing and integration of next-gen technologies. More critically, it could also give the Philippines preferential access to cutting-edge air dominance systems far ahead of their regional rivals. When the first prototype concept was teased at a closed-door event in Manila, defense analysts were quick to respond. The airframe bore the hallmarks of stealth optimization, sharp angles, blended wing body design, and heat signature management features. What's more, it reportedly included a modular bay for autonomous drones and next-gen electronic warfare equipment. The reaction from Moscow and Beijing was swift, if not officially stated. Russian defense officials, who had been courting Southeast Asian nations with Su-57 deals, were caught off guard. China, in the midst of asserting dominance in the South China Sea, found its strategic calculus suddenly disrupted. While China has made headlines with its J-20 and ongoing work on a sixth-generation fighter of its own, it did not anticipate Manila as a serious competitor. The possibility of US-aligned advanced aircraft being stationed just across the South China Sea poses a direct challenge to Chinese air superiority in the region. Beijing state media outlets downplayed the development, calling it aspirational at best, yet behind closed doors, analysts suspect that China's military planners are revisiting contingency models that had previously dismissed the Philippine Air Force as a non-threat. The implications go far beyond military prestige. With such a leap, the Philippines is now positioned to become a defense technology hub in Southeast Asia. The influx of skilled labor, international partnerships, and defense manufacturing jobs is expected to boost the economy and place the country on a new geopolitical trajectory. The Philippines is not just spending billions to buy power, it's investing in a future where it shapes the balance of power. For the average Filipino, this shift is both a source of pride and anxiety. Citizens are excited at the prospect of becoming a nation that can defend itself independently. At the same time, the idea of being thrust into the crosshairs of major global powers brings with it the sobering reality of geopolitical friction. Nonetheless, the administration appears committed, emphasizing transparency, accountability, and peaceful deterrence as the pillars of its defense modernization. Diplomatic ripples have already begun. ASEAN members are reassessing their own defense strategies. Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia are reportedly in discussions with Western allies about enhanced air capabilities. The United States, which maintains a mutual defense treaty with the Philippines, has quietly increased its rotational presence in the region and offered further technical support. Meanwhile, China is ramping up both its military presence and diplomatic engagements, seeking to dilute the strategic gains made by Manila. At this pivotal moment, the world watches as the Philippines charts an unprecedented course, from a modest, archipelagic nation to a rising air power with a seat at the table of next-generation warfare. It is a bold gamble, backed by billions, technology, and national willpower. Whether it will ultimately guarantee long-term peace or trigger a new phase of rivalry in the Pacific remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: the Philippines is no longer a passive observer in the theater of military innovation. It has stepped into the future, and everyone, from Moscow to Beijing, has taken notice.